Right, I'm doing something a little bit different today, guys, because I really wanted to play the game Hozy. So I have literally played through the whole game, and I thought I might as well record all my sessions, but it wasn't something I wanted to talk through. I just wanted to enjoy the gameplay. So all of the recordings are silent, they don't have my voice. So I thought I could still upload them, and what I'd do is read Reddit stories over the top of them. I hope this works. This is my first time trying this, and I'm a little bit nervous because my reading skills are not as immensely fluid, but we will try our best. And if you guys bear with me, because obviously the more I read out loud, the better and easier it will get. So if you guys can stick with me and you can see my progress as I get better. But anyway, I found a story on Am I the A-Hole? And it's called Would I Be the A-Hole for Telling My Client That I Used to Date Her Husband? Throwaway account. I, 28 female, work at a hair salon and I have a client. I have a client, 29 female. She first started coming here in November and has been my new regular. The first time she came in, she said it was funny that her and my daughter have the exact same name, especially since it's an older, uncommon name. I thought it was nice. She told me she had a husband, 29 male, which I didn't really care about, to be honest. A few months later, she made an appointment and told me a bit about her husband. She told me her husband's name was John, fake name, and that they met about 6 years ago at work and they ended up getting married about 3.5 years ago. We ended up talking some more, and she revealed that he went to XY University, which was the same university that I went to before I dropped out. As she kept on talking, I realised that John was insanely similar to my ex-boyfriend. However, I thought it was just a coincidence, since I still lived in the same area that I went to university, John was a common name, and people have similar interests. Fast forward to last week, she made another appointment, and this time, she showed her vacation photos that had John in it. I instantly recognised him, but didn't say anything and just did her hair. Honestly, I don't know what to think, and I'm a little bit weirded out. We ended on extremely bad terms, so it was a little weird to find out that his daughter had the same name as me, his ex-girlfriend. While I don't see anything wrong with having his ex-wife as my client, I feel a bit odd about the whole situation. I don't want to tell her and act as if I am the crazy ex-girlfriend and trying to ruin their relationship. I feel like she should know. If I was in her shoes, I would want to know. I'm not sure what to do. Should I stay quiet and let it be, or should I tell her? She's a genuinely kind and sweet person. I don't want her getting hurt over nothing. Additional info because people were asking. We were pretty serious, together about 3 years and planning to get an apartment together. We had a dog that he took. We ended after we got into a fight in his car. He threw me out of his car in the middle of the night, like 5 blocks from where we live. Not abusive, just an alcoholic. I don't know if he still is. I don't know exactly how they chose their daughter's name. She found me through my Instagram account for work. My other socials are private. Right, let's see what the comments have got to say. I know my opinion, but I'm going to see what some of the comments are saying. And this comment says, do not do this. The whole daughter thing is weird, and the downside is higher than the upside. I'm betting this woman knows exactly who she is and came to her on purpose. This is not a coincidence. The daughter's name means something very weird. Exactly. At first I was thinking that it would be unfair of OP not to tell the woman because her client has the right to know that she is oversharing personal information with her husband's ex. However, the moment OP mentioned that they ended on a bad note, plus now this guy has named his daughter after her, it just seems like insecurity issues. The moment she disclosed it, her client will definitely tell her husband, and then this creep will start to stalk OP. I bet the woman's just said her daughter's name is the same. Daughter is maybe made up? I bet she obviously knows though, and she found her and went to see as a client. It's bizarre. See, everyone in the comments is talking about the fact that the client knew, which I didn't even think about, to be honest, because I was going to say, my opinion would be don't say anything, because that you're opening a can of worms that doesn't need to be opened. And for the situation this is, if he had maybe been violent or been a cheat, been abusive, whatever, then maybe I would say something. But Other than that, no, I would say stay quiet. So I hadn't looked at the aspect that the client knows that she's the ex. That does change things a bit. But I still wouldn't say it. I still wouldn't mention it. And I'd try and avoid like personal life conversations. Right, we've got another Am I the A-hole story. Am I the A-hole for calling my neighbour stupid after she kept going missing in action for months to hook up with her boss? I, 25 female, have this neighbour, 32 female, let's call her Sarah. She moved in next door in 2023, approximately 2 years ago. Sarah and her twin sister, let's call her Lana, quickly became my close friends. Until 2024, I would hang out with Sarah almost every week and would always volunteer to watch each other's cats while the other was travelling. Fast forward to 2025. Sarah lands a new remote job that requires her to travel out of state every month. On the second day at work, she started hooking up with her boss. It all goes downhill from there. She starts going to work trips and goes MIA for months. We find out later that she's actually skipping work and spending time with her boss boyfriend. Before leaving, she would always dump her cat on me and our neighbour, 50 female, let's call her Erica, our mutual friend. At some point, I start ghosting Sarah because I feel exploited. She has expected me to take care of her cat for free for months. Erica is now the only person left to watch her cat, who has now developed separation. I'm gonna say that was meant to say she has now developed separation anxiety. I'm guessing the last word, so I could be misleading, but that sentence isn't finished. Apparently, Sarah tells Erica every now and then that she wants to be friends with me again and make amends, but she never says it to my face. 3 of us decide to get together for some wine sometime November 2025. Sarah insists she broke up with her boss and will stop going MIA. 2 weeks later, she's back together with him and it all goes downhill again. Several months later, my mum dies and I go through the worst period of my life. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, OP. Sarah knows about it but doesn't reach out. April 2026. Erica organises another wine hangout between me and Sarah. I begrudgingly agree, even though I'm pretty fed up with Sarah at this point. Moments before the meetup, Erica informs me in secret that Sarah broke up with her boyfriend. Apparently they've been arguing a lot. Fast forward to the wine session. We're yapping about random stuff. Sarah pretends everything is okay. I keep remembering what she did, and it's really hard for me to suppress my irritation, resentment. Sarah starts grossly mispronouncing the word Kyoto, repeating saying peyote. I tease her for being stupid and we all laugh it off. We then start talking about Japan in general and how badly she wants to go. I can't help it, and I say that she's too stupid to go there. At this point, Sarah gets very emotional and asks me if I mean it. When I struggle to think of something to say, she runs out of the apartment crying. Erica rushes to Sarah's place to figure out what's going on. Apparently her boyfriend would often call her stupid, and it became an emotional trigger for her. She's been called stupid her entire life, and she's tried to be better. I feel bad for making her cry. I didn't know the stupid thing was such a touchy subject. I'm still hurt by what she did, but I think I may have gone too far for expressing it. Am I the a-hole for calling her stupid? Okay, I'm going to give my opinion before I read the comments this time. I definitely think you're the a-hole for calling her stupid. The first time you said it about the mispronouncing the word was done in jest, and it seems like she laughed that off as well. But the second time you said it was more of a to be spiteful. I think you've obviously got angry about this situation as it's gone on, and rather than actually talk to her about it and get it off your chest, you've waited until you've got to a point where you felt a bit spiteful, to be honest. So you're the a-hole for saying that. You're not the a-hole for the cat thing or the boyfriend thing, but you probably should have said something before. Anyway, let's see what the comments have got to say. Yeah, you the a-hole. Sarah doesn't sound like an awesome person, but she didn't do anything wrong. You felt slighted, and instead of bringing your feelings up directly, you decided to be mean and passive-aggressive at the friendly wine night until she left crying and ruined it for everyone. Yeah, see, that's what I said. You the a-hole. If you don't want to be friends with her, don't be. If you do, then use your words and tell her why you're upset with her. But repeatedly calling her stupid makes this an easy you the a-hole. And by the way, the whole thing with the boss and the travel and all that is irrelevant. Her relationship and who she travels with are none of your business. If you don't want to watch the cat, you should just say no. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, good comments, but consensus says you the a-hole. Right, we have one more Am I the a-hole story to read. Am I the a-hole for inviting people over who have bothered to put in some minimal effort to communicate with my deaf stepdaughter? I'm gonna say no from the title, but Let's read and see. My stepdaughter Carly is deaf. The weeks before Easter, she said a few things about not liking family gatherings. She told us she hates being around both families because of how people leave her out of things. Carly said she'd only started to notice when she got older and did less running around with the kids. We decided that moving forward, the events hosted in our home, we were only going to invite people who had bothered to learn some American Sign Language or have shown that they find a way to include her. I don't mean fluency, more putting in effort and at least able to treat Carly like she's a member of the family. Carly uses ASL, but she also lip reads, so stuff like facing her helps. And there were people who have tried. My sister and my niece and my nephew, my mum, etc. But there are a few people who never try, and they are people on his side of the family too. So we told everyone the new rules far before Easter. We said we were happy to host. We want to make sure Carly's home feels like a safe space where she can be loved and supported and where people will include her and make an effort. My sister's family agreed, and my brother-in-law said he'd never thought of it that way and promised he would do better. My dad was awful about it, and so was my brother, Carly's uncles, and one of her aunts. It was just a mess. We've gotten crap out of both sides of the family. I will say there is a trend with who tends to make a stink. It's unfortunately most of the men in the family, including her own uncles, which is sad. Carly's aunt took the uncle's side though. Carly had a good Easter, and so did everyone who came over. But since we have a bigger home, we typically host. I thought we gave them plenty of time to make plans for alternative Easter dinner, but I guess everyone was too mad. So in the end, and this is what my brother said, I look forward to the once a year I get to have ham. But because you wanted to make one person's problem everyone's problem, I didn't. Honestly, I just wanted to write back and tell him to go to Kroger, get a packet of ham, and eat a damn ham sandwich. But then again, I don't know if he could figure out how to use a slice of bread. Because of how much drama this has caused in the family, and how much resentment there is, I wanted to ask you guys if you think we were in the wrong for making this rule. Sorry if this was really long-winded. You are absolutely not the a-hole. Your family should be making an effort, and the fact that she can lip read as well means they don't have to learn sign language, which they should, but they don't have to. And you are making sure what your brother said is just bang out of order. Anyway, let's see what the comments say. I look forward to the once a year I get to have ham, but because you wanted to make one person's problem everyone's problem, I didn't. Yeah, that made me really mad too. And you're meant to believe that's more important than your daughter feeling isolated in her own home. Nuh-uh. I was trying to see both sides of the argument beforehand, but now this is clear. Not the a-hole. And the first bump of being a great parent. Yeah, that line really got to me. Does he not know that he can buy ham at the store whenever you want? Does he think the Easter Bunny brings it? Yeah, that's a good point. Even if everyone finds it too difficult to do ASL, they can face her like OP said, or they can write words down. Yeah, I didn't think of that. They can write down as well. Play a game with her that doesn't require a lot of words, etc. It just sounds like OP just wants any attempt at communication, not necessarily fluent ASL. Yeah, I agree completely. My consensus and the comments consensus, not the a-hole.